They say the sea gives and the sea takes. In my experience, she mostly takes. I was 9 years old the first time I understood what I was in this world. Not a survivor. Not a mystery. Not someone's lost son finally come home. I was a bad omen with legs. The Saltspire keep hits you like a fist the first time you see her from the water. A whole city built on wrecked ships and borrowed time. Floating platforms lashed together with rope and ambition, and the kind of stubbornness that refuses to acknowledge that it should have drowned years ago. The Gilded League built her from nothing and owns every plank and nail and breath of air above her docks. She is magnificent. She is merciless. She does not care about you. I arrived with nothing, which, on the docks of Saltspire, makes you invisible. And invisible, I learned quickly, is safer than most things you can be. The work was simple enough if you didn't mind your bones aching before your 10th birthday. Cargo runs, errand work, fetching and carrying for men who wouldn't remember your face an hour after you'd gone. I didn't complain. Complaining cost something, and I had nothing to spare. What I had instead was time, and eyes, and the particular kind of attention that only develops in a boy who has learned that nobody is coming, so he'd better learn to look after himself. I watched everything. The Gilded League merchants moved through Saltspire like they owned the air above the docks, because they did. There was a way they walked, unhurried, deliberate, the world arranging itself around them without being asked. I studied it the way other boys studied fighting. Power has a gait. I wanted to know every step of it. The Blackmaw Corsairs rolled in twice a season, loud, dangerous, free in a way that made something in my chest twist with something I wasn't old enough to name. They frightened everyone on those docks. Sailors twice their size stepped aside. Merchants found somewhere else to be. The whole dock held its breath when the Blackmaw came to port. Everyone except me. I was already the thing people were frightened of. Their fear had nowhere to land. I watched how the Corsairs moved, too. Different from the merchants. No calculation, no performance. Just the absolute certainty that the world would get out of their way or regret not doing so. Two different kinds of power, both worth understanding. There was a third faction I watched from further away. The Tideborn Covenant anchored their temple barge in the deep harbor and rarely came ashore. Their priests stood at the rail for hours, patient, still, watching the horizon with the kind of certainty that unsettled everyone around them, waiting for something. Whatever it was, they never seemed to doubt it was coming. I didn't know what to make of them then. I'm not sure I do now. Every night when the work was done, I found my way to the end of the longest dock, sat with my feet hanging over the edge, and watched the dark water. It watched back. It always watched back. I hated it for that, for the familiarity of it, for the way the sound of the tide against the pilings felt more like a heartbeat than my own chest did sometimes. I didn't want familiar. Familiar meant a connection I hadn't asked for and couldn't explain and didn't trust. 9 years old, and already I didn't trust things I couldn't explain. The name found me that year. Salt-cursed. A Blackmaw man passing through. Big. Scarred. The kind of sailor who'd seen enough of the world to believe in the things landlocked men laugh at. He looked at my hair the way you look at a bad omen on the morning of a long voyage. Didn't say a word. Spat at my boots. Walked away like I'd already cost him something. I didn't flinch. I had learned early that flinching only encouraged it. I stood there and I watched him go, and I felt the name settle onto my shoulders like a coat that didn't fit. Too heavy, too permanent. The kind of name that follows you into every port you'll ever make. And I made myself a decision. I was not going to be what Saltspire decided I was. Beyond the harbor mouth. Open water. Deep water. The kind of distance that swallows everything Saltspire thought it knew about the world. Out there was where answers lived. I didn't know yet what questions I was carrying, but I was starting to feel their weight. The sea had marked me. Fine. Then I would learn everything there was to know about the sea. And when I was ready, I would make her answer for it.